Hello and welcome to TraceCloud. In the spirit of showing how easy it is to use TraceCloud, in the next 10 minutes, I will show you how you can actually create a project and start creating requirements so that you will have something positive to show for your 10 minutes of work. Uh, I would say follow along as kind of watch the videos. That way you will have a working project. The starting point for this is go to tracecloud.com and create an account, right? So in this case, I can create an account. Let's say I use this account. I wish that were me. Um, Email. How do you hear about us? I would say, let's say Google, password, and boom. So at this point, the system is creating an account for me. What it also does is it creates a sample project that I can go in and kind of play around and see what it does. So let me go in as albert@tracecloud.com and my password, and I should be in here. Let me open this project up. And here I am. It has created a project with a default structure, and it has created some, I would say, data elements in here for me that I can play with. This is just to kind of get you a feel for what does a real project with real data look like. But in our example, we don't want to use that. What we want to do is we want to create our own brand new project. Okay, so let's go ahead and do create a new project. And I have two options here. One is if I had a successful project that I had done some time ago, I could go here and choose to clone that project. In my example, I want to create a brand new project. So let's say I want to create a project called demo. Demo project, give it a name, demo project, right? I'll call this demo video project. Let's do that. And capital V maybe. If I could type, that would be very helpful. But let me go here and just select that. Capital video. Okay, here we go. I create a new project, and roughly 2 minutes later or 2 seconds later, I have this project called demo video project. I open that. The system has zero requirements everywhere. It has assumed I'm going to use a certain project structure. It has releases, business requirements, functional requirements, test cases, and results. While this is the basic template I get to start with, I don't have to live by this. Later on, I will show you how you can actually go to configure project to create your new object types or kind of add different type of objects and add attributes and then manage the project structure. But I don't want to overwhelm you in this first video. So let's just say I have this basic structure and this structure works perfectly for me and I have a project, which is good. Now at this point, I can say, well, that's good. I can go here and create a few business requirements. Right click, create an object, and let's say build a spaceship. And considering I'm Albert Einstein, that's kind of appropriate, right? Well, that's my first business requirement in the system. By itself, it doesn't do much, but that's fine. To build a spaceship, let me create a few functional requirements. I could do right click on functional requirements and create them here, or I could just go here and say, you know what, I want to create a new functional requirement. So I need a launch station. That's my first functional requirement, which is good by itself. Then I also want to create another functional requirement called create rocket engines, right? And maybe I want to hire a few astronauts, right? Create a new thing, right? So hire astronaut nuts, but nuts. And I have a few astronauts, okay? So as I'm doing this, you can see my business requirements. I had one business requirement to start with, build a spaceship. And I have multiple functional requirements that I'm creating, which is good. I may say, you know what, this is all good, but let me have a release object. This is kind of logically grouping my work. I'll say, well, the release I want to kind of do all this is I want to be able to release this project by December. Let's call this alpha release, right? Release the rocket to production, actually launch LAUN, launch the rocket by December 2017. And that's my target. And while I have my release, I have my business requirement, functional requirements, I may decide to have a few test cases to kind of make sure everything is tested before I launch the rocket. And the way I do that is, again, I can create them one by one, or if I already had them in an Excel file, I could say, you know what, I could probably import them from an Excel file. And if I had some Excel file out here, I may be able to pick a file and say, you know what, let's just upload the file. And I'm going to pick this and just say, you know what, I'm just going to use the same thing, and I am going to create my requirements. So what you're seeing is I'm able to kind of import things from an Excel file and create a bunch of objects. So I don't have to do them one at a time manually, but I can import them from Excel. So that's a starting point. This is how you would create a project. You have a folder structure and a requirement type structure, and you can go ahead and either right click and create requirements, and then you start getting things like folder metrics that tells you how many objects are there in each folder, in what state of the workflow they are. But these videos are for the rest of the details are for another video. But I hope this gives you a feel for what you can do with TraceCloud in terms of getting started. To quickly summarize, you log into TraceCloud, you'll see a big green button called Create a New Project. Click that, and you can create your project out here. At that point, your projects show up here where you can open the project, and once you're inside, you can click on any folder out here and say right click, create an object, and that keeps on creating things for you one at a time, and you can see your objects getting created. So if you have followed this video, you should be in a place where you have your own project and you have a bunch of requirements that are waiting for you to do the next steps on. Hope that helps. If you have any questions, please reach out to us at support@tracecloud.com. Thank you.